As for actually playing through the dungeon, ironically perhaps, this is one of the weaker aspects of Eldin Temple. It's not a particularly long or complex dungeon, with only 3 floors, 2 of which have only 3 rooms each. A good chunk of the dungeon, about a third of it, is spread out between the various side-scrolling sections. These are either used to bridge floors, or seemingly disconnected parts of the map. Though in general I prefer the former approach more than the latter. Having a side-scrolling room essentially be an extension of a staircase works neatly for me, adding an extra layer to exploring between multiple floors. As for the other approach, well, I know that when talking about Link's Awakening's dungeons, I talked a lot about not liking these, and how it often felt like a band-aid solution to working around the dungeon's layouts. This game handles it a little better in my opinion, by not only making the side-scrolling rooms more interesting and elaborate in and of themselves, but by just better integrating them into the dungeon layouts in general. Though the map screen could display them better, as I mentioned when looking at Southern, I never really feel like it's an unnatural or disjointed part of the progression in this game. I feel Link's Awakening has better dungeons overall, but I think this one aspect of its design is improved upon here. That said though, of all this game's dungeons, I think Eldin Temple is the one to handle the concept best. It feels like a dungeon built around playing in this style more than the others do. One of these side-scrolling rooms even acts as a sort of central room for the final chunk of the dungeon, with locked doors, branching paths, and keys to grab. That heavy integration of this viewpoint also goes hand in hand with the dungeon's heavier emphasis on platforming. The overall navigation is a bit on the simpler side here, so instead, the challenge leans more on having the dungeon feel like something of an obstacle course. There are pitfalls with updrafts to glide over, pools of magma, and of course those aforementioned rock climbing walls. In quite a lot of these rooms, the magma also raises and lowers, so you can add a sense of timing to the echo bridging puzzle platforming, and things get a lot more interesting.